Hi, this is a new episode of Podcaststuffandsuch, and today's topic is what do I like? really simple and straightforward. I came up with this topic because I was watching some videos on real issues we have in the world, and I kind of wanted to balance it out. Like maybe I want to do another episode where we'll talk about that topic, but yeah, for now, it is just stuff that I like. And I started to, I started early recording, but it was too long. So I will, in a way, it's not totally authentic, but yeah, it's just what it is. I kind of have to do it in this exact minutes, but it's also like really good training for me because sometimes I can be really take long turns before I come to my point. So, what do I like? I like. I'm a big music lover, and I also make music. And yeah, for me, it is also something that I want to do more professionally. So I want to do it with a good recording, collaboration with people who can play that instrument and yada yada yada. At the time, or for now, it is not something that is available to me. So, but it's like down the line, it's definitely something that I want to do. And maybe I will even share here some things. I did a quick ref thing, but yeah, like four songs or something. Maybe I will do that, but yeah, in a way, I want to do it more when it's refined and done and really, really is also sounding that great. Um, yeah. Also than that, I'm a I kind of realized that I like good stories, and then if I like the story, then the medium is no is no there's no medium that is wrong for me. So like I like every medium, anime. It sounds so weird because in English, anime. I don't know, but it sounds kind of wrong. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but it sounds kind of wrong. Um, Movies, and the one I like the least is books. I don't know what it is, but books is really hard for me to get to start a book. But when I start a book and it interests me, I read it pretty quickly. So my favorite probably should be movies. But for a couple of days before, I was thinking about a video game that I played, and I wanted to check if which I remembered had a really good story, and I wanted to check if it still holds up. And yes, I still think it's a really fantastic story, and I will give you the quick synopsis of the game, so I will not spoil anything because that is a game that you have to experience for yourself. But I want to, yeah, recommend it because it's really good. So the game is the beginner's guide. Some people will know this game already, but it is the second game from Davey Reedon, who made the Stanley Parable. And in this game, um, the 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 ballpark or the game is about Davy Reedon introduces himself in the game, and he says that he has a friend, a video creator friend, video creator friend, video game creator friend, video game design friend. I'm not sure about these words. Um, who's named Coda, and he shows us his old games in a span of 3 years that he never released, So they were on his laptop, whatever, and Davey has some access to them, and now he shares them. And what he does is he comments on the game, and he kind of gives you intel on how, because he knows him as a friend, how this kind of reflects in his games. And yeah, it's really good. More I will not say, because yeah, everything else you should check it out, and it's really good. And but also there's a thing where I thought, oh, this would probably never work as a movie or as a book, even, because it really works with the visuals to characterize this coda, because you get kind of an idea or a personality of coda by watching what he designs in his levels or how they're made up. And it's really interesting, really intriguing, and also really, I think for everybody who makes art, it is a really uh, it hits home so much. And yeah, really good game. Another story, and I kind of, this will be my top ranking of best stories ever. uh, when somebody asks me what is a really good story, I will name the enemy monster. And I'm not going into that whole thing, but this is one of the best stories I ever watched, experienced, whatever. Um, and the thing about that anime, I watched it a couple years, 2 years again, 2 years before again, so it still holds up. It's really good. And the thing that I don't like about this anime is something that I still can respect that the author did. And in a way, this is a kind of spoiler, but it's not a spoiler about the plot points. It's just like something you kind of have to accept that this will happen. So the thing is that the antagonist of this enemy is really more like unhuman, has a nobody sees him. He's always in the shadows. He has a plethora of people that he can manipulate and do his work for him, and he's never seen, and he kind of feels like otherworldly. And after the second half of this anime, there's a shift, and he kind of gets explained and he gets humanized in a way. And I'm not sure if this character works that good in that way, because he's kind of mysterious and intriguing, because he is like this unhuman creature in a way. So but I still respected that the author did that, because it's not an easy task, and he kind of pulled it off. It is difficult, but he kind of pulled it off. But it is something, I'm not sure if it was the best call for this series, but I still respect it. So that's my only complaint about this series. That is like, I think that is like uh, really nitpicky, but it's such a good story, so I can recommend it. It's pretty long, 60 episodes is long. It's pretty long anime, but it's so worth it. The payoff is so great. The pacing is also, I don't know, 60 episode is always like, for me, maybe you could cut down some of them, but the anime is pretty good in make in keeping you intrigued. But maybe it would work with less episodes, but I'm not sure. I like this show too much to care about that. Yeah, and that is, and games where I like, let's talk for a second about stuff that I don't like, because by by saying I like that, I don't like this, it is just like what the case is. So what I don't like but I like the world building and I like the stories, the presentation, the Final Fantasy games and Kingdom Hearts games for me more personally. Um, I like those games from their presentation, from the visuals, from sometimes even the story. Um, but I don't like the gameplay. And I think most of the time, if a game has a really good story, the gameplay is never on the same level. So, for example, for me, is Naughty Dog. They are like they have good stories, but the gameplay never matched the story. There's always like some tedious aspect. Now, every Naughty Dog game, I have a moment where I play it and I don't want to play it anymore. I just want to go to the end of the story and want to see what will happen, and I don't want to play this section. Every Naughty Dog game, but I enjoy them, all of them. I enjoyed Uncharted. I enjoyed Last of Us. Like Crash Bandicoot was out of the picture for this kind of categorization, but yeah, um, I enjoyed all of them. But I have a really great time. But I also have like a moment every time when I play it where I think I don't want to play this anymore. This is tedious and boring. And Final Fantasy, that's maybe just a genre for me. Maybe I'm just not like an RPG guy, and I also don't like the thing about Kingdom Hearts games. Always the hundreds of enemies you kill, and they don't have any like. There's no challenge to killing them, but it's just like tedious work. And so I'm more drawn to games like Dark Souls, where you kind of get challenged to know the boss inside and out to beat him. I like that, but Dark Souls is also a game that I feel like is not something that you play to relax, and it is really demanding game. So for the moment, I don't want to play this, but I like the concept of it, and yeah. So what I also like is, and that's why Monster is also my favorite story. Probably is thrillers. I like thriller movies really much. There are two categories of thrillers, if I'm not mistaken. There's one the thriller who is just building suspense, and you just don't know when the thing will get crazy. So, for example, I will name the Invitation. This is a movie I watched. This is basically like the blueprint for that. I would say it's basically that you just have like an intuitive knowing that something will happen pretty bad, but you don't know when it happened and if it happens and stuff. And yeah, um, I like more the second category, the mystery aspect. So like when their secret is when there are many secrets to find or to solve, and there's like a bigger picture, and because you interact with different um, people, you kind of get the full picture. So for example, um, the video game Isomnian Files I played, this is kind of the category of that, because you kind of get the full picture by interacting, or not interacting, by finishing the different routes. I kind of don't like this game concept as much, because it's always like preventing you from getting the real ending beforehand, because in a way it's linear, in a way because you just can't get to the end before that and don't get the real ending. So in a way it's kind of like fake free telling of the story, because you still kind of get the information in the time when the author wants you to get the information. And but yeah, still enjoy them. So now 15 minutes are over, so thank you very much. This was great. So basically that is the games that I like, and every good story is always welcome. So it's more about stories, what makes a good story. Bye.